I want to talk a little bit about limiting beliefs or thoughts. That's an interesting concept, but it's very true. The thing about it is that you see, there's two different areas of thought within your mind. You have like your mind's eye. You hear about people's third eye opening. Well, in a very, very real and profound sense, what we're talking about is something that many people already have had a piece of. It's a domain of imagination. You see, by design, the brain of a human being was made to be a powerful reality generator. An internal world in the imagination of the imagination, which would essentially be a testing ground for ideas and thoughts and can generate new ideas and thoughts spontaneously in order to equip human beings with the capacity to problem solve that would be nearly psychic compared to any other animal on the planet. The ability to make predictions, the ability to observe complicated animal behaviors and herd them or control them, or know if you make a sound over here, they're going to go that way. And so to equip us for profound strategizing. But you see, in order to do that strategizing, you would have to be able to recreate and model the external world into your imagination. You see, and when you engage that world in your mind, you're engaging in a manner that actually has depth, that actually has nuance, that actually teaches you how to navigate the outside world, and your mind will then take what you learn, those teachings, and overlay it into reality, right? Now, the other side is the world of words, language, meaning. You see, if you look at animals, they don't engage life with any meaning at all. My dog, if it wanted to reproduce, it doesn't think, am I good enough? It doesn't have words to describe itself. And so since it doesn't describe itself, it doesn't objectify itself. It doesn't imbue itself with any permanence in terms of what it is or what to do. You see, the human being, what happened and why they talked about the tree of knowledge is that the world of words has a very weak relationship to reality, that words merely attempt to describe, categorize, and segregate objects and things out in reality. Like, here's a book. So here's a book, right? Well, this book, I know it's a book, and I know it's an object because I've separated it from everything else. I've called it a book because it's part of my outside world, but I've now created a book by calling it a book, a word. And I can study its properties, I can look at what's inside it, and I can add to it by adding more words to understand the book and its implications. But our words describe our world, and as we increase our vocabulary, we provide more distinction to the world to help us understand it in certain ways. And as you see, words create distinction, words create separateness, because words will start to define the boundaries of one object or one thing or one phenomenon from other things. But you see, that's the objectification of the world in a way. There was a time in human history where we didn't know cells, we didn't know tissues, that the way we'd explain a person or the way we'd explain something in nature would lack words. We would invent words later, like cell or nucleus or DNA, and we would invent tools that enable us to find more words, to find more distinction, right? With the human being, though, with the ability to have an inner world, both of words that would describe things in the world of the visual world, we started to put language around ourselves. You see, when you started to say things like, I'm not good enough, I'm broken, you started to objectify an understanding of self. You started to imbue yourself with permanence and properties that put powerful constraints on the infinity of the being that you were, that as a child you could see this world and wonder about it, that you could be anything and anybody you wanted. You could be Superman one moment, imagining yourself flying, and you can go running and playing, and you didn't have separateness from the world. You didn't distinguish yourself from other people. You didn't think about yourself at all. All you did was engage the world, that there were no thoughts of self before you started inventing words to describe yourself. And so when you started to create yourself in language with words like I'm not enough or I'm broken, in moments of stress, in moments of personal trial, in moments of pain, the pain became a part of the definition of you. I'm broken. I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. And when the human being objectified themselves, they split themselves between the world of language and knowledge and the world of the outside world. And see, true healing and true knowledge only exists within the world of the mind's eye, the world that you can see, the visual world of just the feeling and nuance. That's the world when you learn because you love something or you're inspired. You naturally grow and develop without any effort. The other world of words and knowledge is the world of flashcards, the word of studying and cramming, the world of forgetfulness, the world of you have to get a test. And in that world, the world wants to define you. You see, you thought that you were not good enough. And now, to be good enough, you need an A. You need to improve. And in that world of knowledge, the tree of knowledge that they spoke about in Christianity was the world of words and knowledge that would merely objectify and separate you from the outside world, that would crystallize and form you with more and more knowledge and understanding and stigma and beliefs about yourself that would provide more constraint. You see, why a child was so free is they never saw themselves as separate from the world. They were just within a world. They were a part of a world, and they could move without any imbued significance or implications about their location, their whereabouts, or boundaries. Without that kind of thought or awareness of self, there was nothing separating them from anyone else or anything else. They were free. They didn't have a thought like, I'm not good enough to do this, or this isn't mine. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. And what we have done to the child is continue to define them as they go into an adulthood. Here's what a man is supposed to be. Here's what a woman is supposed to be. Here's what an American is. Here's what you need to look successful. That's the tree of knowledge. The tree of knowledge is one of definition. And so as you seek answers about what's wrong with me, why am I not good enough? You are merely bolstering yourself with more stigma and definition. That the truth that sets you free is the truth that your words created you in this world, the world of your inner mind. And now you are surviving life, reacting and responding to things that make you look not good enough or good enough. Having your whole emotional state be defined outside the boundaries of your control.